In the heart of Lagos, a little girl sat alone by the roadside. Her tiny body shivered in the early morning cold, her dress now brown with dirt. She watched people rush past her, some glancing with pity or ignoring her. She was a child, once belonging somewhere, but now forgotten. Her stomach twisted in pain. Some days she found scraps in trash bins. Today she had nothing, as hunger had become her daily companion. A woman selling oranges stopped and asked why she was alone. When the girl said she didn't know her name or where her parents were, the woman offered her an orange. As she peeled the fruit, savoring each slice, a tear rolled down her cheek. Someone had shown her kindness, reminding her of her humanity. That night, she curled up under an old wooden table, her usual sleeping spot. With determination, she promised herself, "I will survive." The marketplace was quieter at night. The air was filled with the smell of leftover food and rotting fruit. The girl remained under her wooden table, trying to stay warm without a blanket, with the ground making her back ache. She had learned long ago that Lagos at night was dangerous, filled with thieves, fighters, and aggressive policemen. She heard loud, hurried footsteps and saw two men arguing near wooden crates. One man was tall and aggressive. The smaller man stammered, pleading for more time, but was violently pushed against a wall and threatened. After the tall man stomped away, the girl felt more scared than usual, wondering about her shadows and memories. As she hoped to fall asleep, she heard soft footsteps coming closer, causing her heart to pound. A boy, dirty and tattered like her, crouched and whispered if she was awake, needing comfort in the darkness. The girl followed Tunda through the quiet streets, her bare feet careful on the rough ground. Tunda moved quickly, glancing over his shoulder as if checking if someone was following them. They reached a small bakery with a faded sign. The shop was closed, but the smell of fresh bread still hung in the air. Tunda pressed a finger to his lips. Before she could ask why, he slipped toward the back of the bakery and reached for a loaf. Just as they finished the bread, a voice shouted from inside the bakery, "Thief! Somebody is stealing my bread." Tunda grabbed the girl's hand. "Run!" They dashed through the narrow streets, with the bakery owner's angry shouts echoing behind them. Finally, they turned a corner and ducked behind an abandoned truck. The girl pressed herself against the cold metal. She had eaten stolen food. Was this what survival meant? She would do whatever it took to live another day. The girl sat on the cold ground, her breath heavy from running. Tunda, however, seemed completely calm, as if he had done this 100 times before. Tunda nudged her shoulder. "Hey, don't look so scared. You have to be fast in this city. If you're not, you won't survive." After a long pause, she nodded. "Okay." Tunda grinned. "Good choice." Finally, they reached an abandoned building near the railway tracks. Tunda led her inside. "This is home," he said. Tunda threw a thin blanket toward her. "You can sleep here." Ada lay down, feeling warmth inside. She didn't feel alone anymore. Ada woke up to the sound of voices. The sun barely rose, and the other children were already moving, whispering in circles. Tunda, chewing on sugarcane, greeted Ada. He offered her a piece, saying it helps with hunger. As she chewed her sugarcane, Ada noticed the other children moving with purpose. They were planning and preparing. Tunda explained the rules: never trust strangers, watch your food, and keep money hidden. Ada realized survival was a game. A girl warned of Baba Femi's arrival. The children tensed as a rough man entered, demanding money. Ada sat in a corner, struggling with Baba Femi's words. She felt helpless, thinking about how to bring something without any money or skills. Tunda sat beside her, suggesting she hustle to find a way to get money. He explained that there are various methods, not just begging or stealing. Ada felt uneasy about begging or stealing despite Tunda reassuring her. He encouraged her to consider other ways to hustle. Following Tunda, they ventured into the bustling streets of Lagos, filled with the sounds of the market and busy pedestrians. At a traffic intersection, Tunda showed Ada how a young boy earned money by cleaning windshields. It was simple yet effective. Ada hesitated but eventually tried it too. After some initial rejection, she earned a few naira from a driver, feeling a mix of emotions. That night, Ada sat in the abandoned building, staring at the small naira notes in her hand. It wasn't much, but it was something. Tunda sat beside her, stretching his legs. "You did good today," he said, but Ada sighed, "It still doesn't feel right." The door creaked open as Baba Femi stepped in, collecting rent from each child. Some gave money, others small items. Stopping in front of Ada, he smirked, taking her notes. "Not bad for your first day," he said, but then gave a chilling warning. After Baba Femi left, the tension lifted. Tunda reassured her, "You're safe for now," but Ada felt uneasy. Deep inside, Ada knew one thing. She couldn't live like this forever and needed to find a way out. And fast. Ada lay awake, staring at the cracked ceiling. Around her, other children slept, but her mind wouldn't rest. Baba Femi's words echoed in her head. "If you can't bring money, find another way to be useful." Tunda helped her survive these past days, but was this really survival? Ada wanted to leave, but where would she go? Ada asked Tunda if he ever thought about leaving. He frowned and said, "And go where?" Tunda recalled trying to leave once, but getting caught by a man who only wanted to use him. Ada felt his bitterness. Ada's determination sparked. "I still want to try." Tunda warned her that they needed a smart plan. Tunda finally whispered, "Maybe there is a way." Ada's eyes widened, filled with hope. Ada could barely sit still the next day. Her heart pounded each time Baba Femi passed by. She avoided his eyes, pretending to be just another street kid. Tunda whispered with older boys, gathering information. He told Ada to act normal and keep hustling to maintain their cover. As the sun set, Tunda pulled Ada aside and warned her about Baba Femi's watchful eyes on the streets. Tunda revealed their escape plan. He described an old train yard where they could hide and wait for a train that departs in the morning. Tunda reassured her that if they were lucky, they could leave Lagos for good. Ada decided she was all in. Ada felt her pulse quicken. This was it, their only chance at freedom, and she was ready to take the risk. The night was quiet, too quiet. Ada lay still on her thin blanket, heart pounding, afraid to wake the other children. Tunda whispered, "Now." Together, they sat up, Ada's hands shaking, but she forced herself to calm down. They moved like shadows over sleeping bodies, avoiding creaky floorboards. The air was thick with sweat and smoke. Outside, the air was cool and streets dark. But the real danger was just beginning. Tunda squeezed her hand, urging her to move fast. Suddenly, they froze in front of a tall figure with a cane, Baba Femi. His face held a chilling smile as he asked, "Going somewhere?" As Baba Femi's men approached, Tunda shouted, "Run!" They sprinted away, adrenaline pumping as shouts filled the air.